3. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This
Alaikum
is
salam.
a group presentation for a case study. Our case is about Via Cave, and the topic is case studies and FGDS on issues of diversity, organizational change, and social responsibility ethics. So, this presentation is presented by me, Usama Al-Fahd, Jafaruddin Fadil, Rabi' Rashid, and Muhammad Ken. Now, moving to the agenda. So what we will figure out in this presentation is first, we have the background on the case. What's Via Cafe, and things about the background of this case. Then we have the problem statement, which is the main problem of this case. Then the concept of Via cave. After that, we have the discussion and problem discussion to see what's the solution for the problem formulation. And finally is the conclusion. Now moving to the background of the study with Rabia.
Okay. Background of the study. On the 20th birthday of Via Cave in Yogyakarta, commonly Via Jogja, the two partners of Cave Via were wondering if their approach to tourism and sustainable developments was really the most effective one. They developed plans to establish coffee house as meeting place around the world. The following year, one day after opening the first Via Cave in Belgium, me moved to Indonesia to create the first Via Cave abroad. The goal was to create space for travelers and locals to come together.
Okay, thank you so much, Rabia. So we know now about the Via Cave. Now moving to the next slide with the problem statement with Muhammad Ken.
Okay, thank you, Osama and Rabi. So there is a problem statement of this case, Via Coffee. So what we realize in this case is that the majority of employees in the Java tourism industry were men. So women was not really regarded as a managers or whether they can take any position in the industry of tourism. Especially in the position of management, there was no women in the 90s. In those days, the local women was misregarded as they are not capable of handling the management system, and they were not being offered in the work in the industry system, in the tourism industry. So in this case seems to be bias and discrimination to local women and the community at large because they are not being part of the society. Why this? It has been in the community at large because there's only 6 women and are working during this time, working in the industry of tourism. And these 6 women were foreigners. So because of that, the locals thought that it is the discriminations among them, so which created problems in the industry.
All right, Ken, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So before we go to the discussion of the problem, we need to know first the concept of Via Cave. Via Cave is an Bulgarian travel agency created the strategies for establishing caves as meeting places around the world where their ideas can be executed. Their ideas is about sustainable tourism that respects nature and culture. They thought that by offering alternative besides traditional towers. So the target of Via Cave is working together with Bulgarian travel agency, which is offices for tourist people from outside Indonesia, So when they work with this, they get up what new customers from outside. So these was the main strategy for them and the concept of this cave. Now, moving to the discussion before we solve the problem. So the positive and lively atmosphere created by the social enterprise concept, which is valued by visitors and the local communities, as I mentioned before. So is what May and Engelbert credit for the Via Via Cafe Jogja project success. It was a success for the cave when they work with the tourist office, because this cooperation can give many customers to the cave. So the strategy produced a devoted group of workers who felt a sense of ownership in the Via Via organization. Here, it's important point that there are some employees work inside the organization, and their uh, performance is like they are the owner. So we need to uh, care of these people and uh, evaluate them, do our best that not to let these people think to leave our organization, because they are really important. So especially when the earthquake took place, when the employees left their homes to come and rebuild the Via Via cave. As we know that in Indonesia, we have some of earthquakes, especially in Jogja side, because the mountain is Merapi, near to the city. Now, going to the problem solution and discussion with Ken before we go to the conclusion.
Thank you again, Osama. So here there is a problem solution and discussion. So after we read a problem statement that the women and the local women thought that they were being discriminated in the tourism industry. So after we realize and understand the problem of the case, so what we see is that Via Via Coffee have to decide. They have to decide that to empower women. So because since Via Via Cafe was a woman, so in this case, when they see the need of empowering women, so they have to decide this case. So what should we do? Should we choose women to be part of our leadership? Should we choose them as our employees, especially the local women? So Via Via Cafe decided to empower women. This decision was used to make the hiring practices so that women can be hired and take the management position, because when the local felt that they are discriminated, they are not capable of working in the tourism industry, especially managing the tourism industry. So they took the actions. So when the Via Via Cafe owners, which is me and Enfield saw this opportunity, say, okay, let's give this opportunity to the women. Let's see what they're going to do. And this opportunity actually elevated Via Via Cafe opportunity of expanding more. So they could able to engage in the local community, able to engage in the people in the society. So make sure that women get a voice to speak. They have the power to do whatever job they can do. So they also have the power to manage the leadership capability. So that is why it brought more opportunity in the Via Via Cafe business industry.
All right, thank you so much, Muhammad Ken. So after we know the main problem of this case and the solution, we are going to say the conclusion with Jeffruddin.
Okay, thank you, Osama, Rabi, and Ken. I will read about conclusion. So, conclusion. They were very proud of all their social accomplishments, including the advantages, working conditions given to staff, the training, art programs, environmental projects, humanitarian assistance, economic projects, wellness campaigns, and other projects and programs direct towards the community. So, uh, I think that's from me. How about you guys? That's all.
All right, bro. Thank you so much.
Okay,
So we
thank you,
can
sir.
summarize. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. We can summarize that cave was a popular cave in Indonesia. They had a problem with women discrimination because there are positions that women can be in these positions, but it's not allowed. It's just for the men. That's why affect to the cave, and they got a lot of problems inside the cave. Sometimes sailing is not going well. Problem inside the employees itself, they are not satisfied, and so on. So after that, they make the solution and they start involve the women inside the positions and management positions. Thank you so much for your attention. That's from us. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum
وعليكم
salam.
السلام ورحمة الله
Thank you,
وبركاته.
bro.